What's good, y'all? Out today for my first backpacking adventure of 2026, which brings me to southwest Oklahoma, and specifically the Wichita Mountain Refuge of southwest Oklahoma. I've heard this place described as basically the Joshua Tree of Oklahoma, minus the Joshua trees, but the same kind of topography. So I'm super excited. We are actually within the Sharon's Garden Wilderness, which is in the southwest portion of the Wichita Mountains Wildlife Refuge. There are all manner of things to do, the first of which is going to be behind me here, Elk Mountain. So many great things to come. I'm excited. Vámonos! About 600 feet later, we have reached the peak, the summit. I haven't actually touched the top of the summit, but the effective summit for the likes of this old man of Elk Mountain. Absolutely stunning, gluttony of granite in every direction, as you can see. This is like within the first couple miles out of the parking lot. You go right up to the top of Elk Mountain. What a way to kick it off. I'm going to go ahead, maybe get some electrolytes in me. Then we're going to kind of kick around on the top of this mountain here. There's a couple of points of interest that I'm hoping to see: Centennial Arch and perhaps a rock formation called the Apple and the Pear. So I'm going to kick it around here, and then we'll begin our descent back into the valley that runs here in Sharon's Gardens. Quite a start. All right, so after quite a battle, we made it down Elk Mountain. I decided to pick my own adventure on the way down instead of taking the trail, and I picked the wrong adventure as it turned out. I had a wrestling match, a steel cage match with scrub oak all the way down. It took like 2 hours to get down. I like felt like I was a tackling dummy, absolutely being tackled by all the scrub oak. But I was finally able to make my way down off of that, and then we maneuvered ourselves out to. There's an area in this particular wilderness area. You're only allowed to camp within, I think it's a 0.5 mile radius of a. They give you a GPS point, and you have to basically camp within 0.5 miles of that. So I found one of the very few groves of trees here within the wilderness area. As you can probably tell from the video thus far, it's pretty barren of trees, but I was able to find one little section of tree. We're right by a cave called the Clam Shell, which I've yet to actually check out. So I'm going to check that out real quick. Then we're going to go get some water. That was another thing. I was getting a little nervous as I was not seeing any water, but I finally, when I came up here on the Crab Eyes Trail, which you saw some images of crab eyes, did locate some water. So I'm going to go camel up with all kinds of water, take a look at that clamshell cave area, and then we're going to try to get a vantage point on sunset, which is coming fast and furious. All right, well, a fine morning to you. We are awake and ready to head down the trail. As I talked about yesterday, you have to camp in a very small select area here within the Sharon's Garden Wilderness, which gives me the opportunity to, I've set up this base camp so I don't have to tote around nearly as much stuff as I did yesterday. So the load on my back will be much easier today. Should make today a little bit easier slog. So we're going to get out on the trail today. We did a lot of the stuff I wanted to see on the eastern side.
of the Sharon's Garden Wilderness yesterday. Today we're going to move to the west and southwest corner of the park, and we're going to start off at Mount Mitchell, which, as I understand it, is one of the cooler mountains to climb out here, and then just kind of work our way around the southwestern border. So many great landmarks to see yet. Going to be another great day. Let's go get it. All right, well, we have now arrived at the base of Mount Mitchell, or at least the base from where I'm going to approach it. I worked myself over to the western side of the base of Mount Mitchell, the eastern and northern sides that I videoed pretty prominently that you saw. Certainly nothing I'm gonna be taking on. So I figured I'd try to stay alive out here, and I'm gonna take it from this angle here. I'll kind of give you a look, but I think we're just gonna kind of pick our way up through here, and then work our way up kind of the ridge, and go to the top somewhere over in here. I guess over in there, that general vicinity. So again, path of least resistance for this elderly cowboy, but can't wait to get up there. Okay, at the summit of Mount Mitchell, definitely the highlight of the trip so far. I gotta say that. Just granite everywhere, granite in every direction. Went to the summit. The summit is actually right over there. There's a pile of boulders right on top that I didn't get to the top of, but I'm gonna say 10 feet short of the summit, which works for me. I came to bag views, not summits, and that's definitely what I got up here. At this point in time, though, I'm going to go ahead and come down off of Mount Mitchell. I'm going to go back down into the valley, into the Sharon's Garden Valley. Originally, I had planned on going along the southwest perimeter, decided to bag that. I'm gonna go down into the main valley. We'll take a look at either Crab Eyes, maybe Sunset Peak. I'll kind of figure it out once I get down there. But this time I will take the way I came up. Lessons learned from Elk Mountain yesterday. I do not want to bite off more than I can chew. So, right so far, this was absolutely fantastic. On to the next. Okay, well, just checking in from the belly of the Clam. Nice and cool oasis in here away from what was a pretty hot day. I actually, instead of going on other ports of call after summiting Mount Mitchell, I decided it was time for a siesta, and I actually got a good 2 hours rest, which this whole base camp thing, posting up and going on little adventures with the base camp is, I get used to this. It's actually kind of nice. Come back to camp, get a 2 hour siesta, come to the belly of the Clam for a nice little summer sausage and cracker duo. And now we're going to go ahead and go to Crab Eyes. I think Crab Eyes seems like it might be a pretty fantastic place for sunset. So we're going to get things packed up, get moved up there real quick for sunset, and then it'll be snooze time thereafter. All right, coming to you the next morning, obviously not from the Sharon's Garden Wilderness, but instead from my car. I actually have an 8.5 hour drive to get on out of here, so I want to get a head start on that. So I did the 2.5 mile hike on out of the woods there via headlamp, and that was actually very peaceful. I like that quite a bit. just buttoning up my my trip out here to the Charon's Garden Wilderness. Absolutely very impressive place. You know, I gotta say, coming into this is my first trip to Oklahoma, and hadn't you know, the first images that came to mind weren't necessarily granite mountains, but I think going forward, that's exactly what they will be. Over delivered on my expectations and had an absolute blast out here. Wanted to just real quickly tip my cap to a couple YouTube channels that helped me in preparing for this trip. First one is the Pemberton Boys. That guy is a czar of the Wichita Mountains. He must live in one of the neighboring towns, I think Lawton or something like that, but he's got a lot of helpful information. He's been to every nook and cranny of this place, and I found his videos very helpful. And also to the Oklahomo Hiker, who has a lot of great videos out here, and just a really cool vibe to his channel as well. So I want to tip the cap to those two. That's pretty much going to do it for this time around. I want to thank you for riding in my sidecar along the way on this adventure, and I hope to see you in the next one.